Okay.
All right, it says it's recording. So, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever and whoever you are. This is another Old Souls interview, and I am pleasured and honored to have this young man all the way from West Africa who is going to introduce himself. But we will have this next hour to conversate, to discuss, and this brother's going to share his wisdom with us all. All right. Without further ado, Mr. Zara, would you please introduce yourself? Give us some background, where you're from, who's your people, how much money do you make, how much money you gonna put into my bank account after this interview?
Okay. Good evening. Okay, it's evening here because I live in Cyprus now. So good evening. It's 10:17 p.m. here. My name is Zara Keys. I was born Alex Damogor, named after my dad, and I live in Cyprus now. I'm from Plateau State, Nigeria. I'm a student at Ubiquity University. I'm studying for the MSc in Social Innovation and Entrepreneurship. Um, I'm the first of three boys. My mom is a nurse. My dad is a police officer, and I'm a Christian. I love football. I love writing. I love singing. I read the Bible every year. Uh, what else? What else would you want to
Wait a
know?
minute. Now, I gotta ask because I am American. So is this
Okay.
American football or is this like what the rest of the world calls
More
soccer?
like soccer.
Or what we call
The one
soccer?
soccer. Yeah.
No,
We actually play the football. You guys. I don't know what you guys do as
yeah, I
Americans.
know. I have this conversation very often with
Okay.
people. Well, awesome, man. I mean, I think that that's a great start just to introduce yourself and get the audience aware of who you are. And so,
Yeah.
one of the things that I strongly encourage Mr. Zara to do is bring all of who he is to the interview. And so, he's been aware or made aware that he is the expert doing this interview because it's all about him. Now, before we go into questions and things like that, I do want to mention that Zara has just released a book a month or two ago, or 3 months
Yeah.
ago.
I think 2 months ago.
Okay, about 2 months ago. And so hopefully he will be able to share some of his wisdom from the book and share some things about his book, and then also give us um, some places where we can actually purchase the book or tell us where we can go get the book. So, um, yeah, this is going to be good. So, Zara, you have shared with
Okay.
us a brief introduction about where you're from. I'm going to give you an existential kind of question, and that's just simply, who are you?
Okay.
Who are you now?
Right now.
Right now.
Right now.
Right
If I
now,
should,
right
if I should, if I should, if I should describe myself right now,
now. Mhm.
I'm a train picking up speed. That is who I am. At this moment, right now, that I'm talking with you right now, I'm just a train picking up speed. Um, an arrow before you shoot an arrow, you pull it back. This a couple of years, let's say 4 years from before now, I'm I've been drawing back a little bit, and I've gotten to that point that the sling uh, is at its maximum, ready to let go and then move. So I am a train picking up speed right at this moment.
I love
That
that.
is who I am.
I love the analogy, man. Well, listen, I have a tag question for all of the guests, and it's simply, how do you know what you know, and when did you know it? And so this, if you've seen some of the previous interviews, this is really dealing with the subconscious self, as some would say, or some would describe it as the spirit self. And so,
Mm.
with that being said, how do you know what you know, and when did you know it?
Okay, that question is deep. Okay, I'm 26 years old. I am um okay, how do I know what I know and how do I know it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, first of all, if I should relate to a place in the Bible, it says, um, "My people perish for the lack of knowledge." And then I got into books. I got into books through a friend. I read the first book I read, the entire book was "The Richest Man in Babylon" by Judge Samuel Clayson. It changed my life. I didn't realize that there's really more. There's really more about life in itself, and then like generally about life in itself. So my life to where I am right now, that I said I'm a train picking up speed. It's been a whole journey that 1 hour interview would never cover it.
Sure,
But
sure.
I hope in these few moments that we engage in this conversation, it gets to reveal a little piece of the most essential piece of who I am as a person right now. So, how do I know what I know? First of all, previous background knowledge based on my years on earth. Secondly, books. Books has inspired me a lot, and then I know a lot. A lot of things that I know is because of books. Books have opened up my eyes to see a lot of things, and I listen to a lot of people that. Okay, every area of life that I want to be successful in. I love music. I'm obsessed with quality sound. Like I just love. That's why I don't buy earpiece that's cheap. I buy the high quality ones just to give me this. I feel the sound. That's one thing that drives me. Like that's one thing I really love. And I listen to people that are successful in those areas that I want to be successful in. So areas like music, I love music. Areas like parenting is I love to be a dad someday. Is That's one area I read about. I love to be a great husband someday, and that's every area that I want to be successful in. I try to read and I try to listen to people, and then I observe from my parents, from family, friends, just the world around me. I'm just conscious. I'm just self-conscious of of my environment, and the energy I give out and the energy I allow, uh, I feed into. So that is how I know what I know and when I know it, if that answers the question.
I believe you've answered the question, man. And I'm going to want to extend and expound the question a little bit more because I think there's some flavor there for you to share. Um,
Okay.
Music is one of those things. I want to come back to it because I'm a strong lover of music as well. But before I
Okay.
go to music, I want you to share, if you can, when was your first, maybe we'll call it a spiritual encounter? So what do you recognize as spirit? And when did you recognize that there's a life that is beyond what you see with your natural eye? How about that?
Okay. Uh, Over the years, I don't know, this self-consciousness okay, growing up in Africa, okay, there is something Americans call the American dream, right? It's, it's, it's something that, okay, the desire for more, to be better, to do better, to become better for, not just for yourself, for your family. And coming from Africa, I'm coming from a middle class, and a middle class home in from where I'm from is not the same thing as the middle class family back in America.
Mm.
It's a different world entirely. If you want to fit, uh, if you want to try to fit into that description of a middle class based on this American view of it, you see it's two different worlds altogether.
Mm-hmm.
But growing up watching a lot uh, of TV, and then the American culture being uh, introduced, and then been taught to us through movies and all this media. America, the Western world generally just
Mhm.
puts, and then we learn from, has has really affected my view of life itself, and then of um, of everything in general. So how do I put this now? Uh, I wake up every day. I wake up every morning. I don't know how, but I guess it's that self consciousness. I wake up every day realizing that there's more, and there's more because I know I am more. I know I am more because there's got to be someone bigger than me. There has to be something more powerful, something just beyond supernatural, something that is just beyond pen and tongue. Based on what I've read about the Bible, is that God is everything, and then it said that I'm created in God's image. Above everything that God created, the first day God created the heavens and earth. He separated darkness from the light, and then He created the dome, separated the earth from the sky, and then all the animals, and then vegetation and all that thing. God just commanded that let all these things come to life. But then when He came to man, God had to touch him with His own hands.
Mhm.
And that's how I feel. I feel touched by something supernatural, like super. I can't just put the right word. There's no right
Mhm.
word to
Mhm.
explain that being. But I guess the only word you can use is just God.
Yeah,
So that is it for me.
nice. You know, I think there's always a challenge in describing something that is intangible, but yet everywhere
True,
and
true.
is in the tangible. You know, one of the things
Everything.
you said is in everything.
And it's everywhere in everything. You just feel it. You just feel it.
Mm.
And the funny thing is that the most amazing thing about it is that at times when you look at the mirror, when I look at the mirror, that intangible thing is actually me.
Mhm. Mhm.
Actually me, because if I was made in that likeness of that intangible supernatural, it just means that just as that thing or that whatever it is, just like it is, so am I. Because I was made in His likeness to be just like Him. Can I tell you a little story? About the creation story. When God created Adam and Eve, God gave them, the first thing God gave them was power. He said, okay, based on the version of the Bible that you might want to read, it said some versions say, I give you power. Some versions say dominion. Some versions say subdue. Some versions say bring under control everything that I had made. That power is just amazing. And that power was not restricted to the things that God made, but it was for the man then to be able to handle every situation that he, the supernatural, knew the man was definitely going to.
Wow.
So realizing that power is one thing that it gives me an edge to know that everything will just will somehow just work out.
Mhm.
If you know if you understand what I mean. That, that that power is just, and I don't know why I feel full of it. Like
Yeah.
I feel full. It might not at this present moment, present circumstances. It might not look. Uh, it might not seem like anything big. It's nothing much. It's nothing much. But then I feel it deep inside. Like I feel it that there's something big. There's something big, like really big. Really something just beyond pen and tongue. Something I can't write. Something I can't explain to you in words. But then I guess in a few years or probably months, It will show.
Okay. Well, listen. Well, as we think about trying to describe something that's invisible, I do
Mm,
believe that God has gifted us with a myriad of different ways to express what that invisible does to and through us. And as I mentioned earlier, that music was something that I wanted to come back to. And you talked about music being something so significant to you. And so I
yeah.
want to come back there and ask you, how has music been a means to express the invisible? And what does music mean to you? And who do you listen to? And when did you start being so, I don't know, in tune with music? And I don't know if you play
Okay.
anything, but so share with us, what is your relationship with music?
Okay. I'd like to show you something.
Mm.
Before you called, I was working on something. This is where I write all any inspiration about music that I've got. Okay, you know Death Row Records, right? Snoop Dogg, Suge Knight.
I don't know anything
Uh,
about Death Row. No, no, I'm just kidding with you. Yeah, what's up?
okay. I don't know. I have this friend of mine. He's a producer back in Nigeria.
Uh-huh.
I just called him one day. I was like, man, Dr. Dre made 3 billion, and he was a part of Death Row. Snoop Dogg is worth like 100+ million. I said, I want to do something. I said, how about Life Row Record?
Wow.
And then let me and you start something. And he was like, man, that's a good idea. I'm a marketer. I studied marketing because I'm an associate member of the Association of Business Executives in the UK. So
So
I
hold
said,
on. Let me. I want to reiterate that for those who are listening, this is an original thought by Zara to come up with Life Row Records. So don't be trying to
uh,
cop his words.
thank you.
Anyway, go for it,
Thank
man.
you for that.
Share with us Life
Thank you
Row
for that.
Records, man. I love it.
Yeah. So you know all the story with Death Row, how Tupac died, and then the violence that that was in it, and all the drama. I was like, I've come from way too much enough drama for one person, that I want a change. That if Death Row with the name can come up with close to 4 billion in net worth between a few people, Life Row should do something even bigger,
Mhm.
not just about financial or anything, but then transform lives and then change, affect people's destinies in very positive ways. And then I was like, man, let's do Life Row Records. And if you check my Facebook, I think my cover photo is the Life Row Records. I put double LR
I'm
hashtag
gonna have to
something like
check
that.
it out. No, I haven't seen
I
it
think
yet.
I think I did that. I think I
Okay.
did that. Yeah. So okay, this is okay. If you can see it, if you can see it clearly, I'm just in my room. This is some of the little I don't draw, I don't do anything. It's just some of you can see music is written in red, and then okay, I have this little quote of mine. I was like, I've got all the luxuries in the world. They are possibilities. I am possible. That is just
Wow.
the quote I have the front of uh, uh, my music book.
Nice.
So I was working
Nice.
on something. I was like, an idea just came to me, and then I was trying to write it down, and it was okay. I would want to. I The thought was about the if you read about the prodigal son,
Mhm.
about how he went through all he had to go through, and then that his father was still there regardless of what he did,
Mhm.
and then living home and then spending all his dad's share of his own wealth, and then still coming back home to father with still open arm.
Mhm.
And then I learned a big story about forgiveness, about acceptance, about coming back home. So it was something I was working on, about just about that storyline. Okay, how I got in. Everybody, almost everybody, when they were young, had was in some little music group or something. I never really liked. First of all, because I was really shy. I think I possibly had low self-esteem because I was really shy in front of people.
Mhm.
But then when Akon came out, I think 2000 something, when he came out, I don't know, there was something about his voice that just changed my vision about music. And I think that's one of he's my biggest musical inspiration, Akon himself. He's my biggest. Because then when he came out, I knew all his songs then. I don't know why, I just really loved him. Not just because he's from Senegal, Africa, because Africa like me. Not because of that. His voice, there was something about his voice that was just so unique.
Mm-hmm.
If you ask some of my friends from high school, about me and music, they'll call you call that guy's Akon. Because I wanted to be like him. I wanted to be him actually.
Wow.
And I didn't, after a while, when growing up, as I was growing up, I then realized, no, I just have to be me and then do music in the way that the supernatural gives it to me.
Mm-hmm.
In the I get it, I give it directly the way I digest it, the way I assimilate the music that comes to my head and I write it down. It's the same thing I give it out. So how I got to love music is Akon. And then Michael Jackson, who didn't like Michael Jackson? Everybody loved Michael Jackson. So then Michael Jackson, and but someone that made me
Zara, I can't hear you.
Sorry, my girlfriend tried to call. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll call her back.
Thank you. Sorry,
So
girlfriend.
no problem. It's no problem. I'll explain to her. So the person that really got me into love music is Akon. That's how I got to really appreciate music. But because then when you listen to his art, if you listen to Locked Up, if you listen to Ghetto, there's good message he was trying to pass across. Back then, as a kid, I never really liked being in the music group. My mom always forced me, you have to go, you have to be in the group, this and that. Can't you see your friend is there? And that was why I actually joined. But I never really liked being in front of people and all that. But growing up with time, like I said, reading really helped boosted my confidence, and then helped me to, okay, I've read this book by this Carnegie guy. I don't know if I'm pronouncing the name correctly. I've forgotten the name of the book, and the man's name has a funny name. Like that. I think he came to America, and then I think he has a whole Carnegie Hall or something like
Yeah,
that.
I think you may be talking about Nothing to Live. Oh my gosh, if it's
Remember, I've read a book by someone, I think, that really helped me about to be more confident in my own self and then in front of people. I've read a lot of John Mason.
Is it Think and Grow Rich?
No, that's Napoleon Hill, not that one.
Okay, so it's not Napoleon.
No, it's Napoleon Hill.
Okay.
But I've listened to his audiobook, Think and Grow Rich, and then
Okay.
changed my life.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like, I mean, you've said it more than a few times how books and music have impacted you. I do want to take a slight veer into the world of books, just because, as I've mentioned earlier, that you've published your own book a few months ago. Quick parenthetical and say that before we end the interview, should you be willing, most of the people who know me know what I'm about to ask you to do. And that's going to be sing for us before this show is out. So just as we are going through this interview, just in your subconscious, I want you to be thinking about something that you can share with us musically before we end the interview. But let's take this segue into book world. So I want you to talk about your recent book and just give us a quick introduction. And then there's a few questions I want to be able to discuss with you based on your book. Share with us. Book title, what's it about? Go forward.
Okay. The title of my book is Behind Castle Walls. Behind Castle Walls. You can find it on Amazon.com, createspace.com, or createspace.com CreateSpace is an Amazon company. So the book is about the pursuit of happiness. I'll give you okay. Our bodies consist of many systems. I think it's like 9 systems: endocrine system, skeletal system, all these systems to make up a complete human being. If one system in your body is not performing at at its optimum expected, if one system is not functioning at its optimum, your entire body suffers. Take for example, you have a fractured radius. It's just your skeletal system that's having issues, but then the pain affects your entire body, and then you're not able to perform as a complete human being completely. So, like I said, the book is about the pursuit of happiness. Our lives in general is made up of systems. Your personal life is a system. Your education is a system. Your finances is a system. Is one system. Your marriage life is a system. Your spiritual life is a system. All these things are made up of systems. I've realized something in this life, that we all want the same thing. My definition of what success is, or what yours might be slightly different, but it all boils down to the same thing, that we all want: a happy ever after. The book is about having a happy ever after. The world today defines success as basically financial. When you stack up millions or billions, or even, you're tagged as a success. But I don't see success like that. I think success is when your entire body, your entire life system, is working at optimum performance. No one system is lagging behind in terms of performance. Financial success is just one aspect of success, although it's the obvious one that you can add up numbers and then determine uh, um, its outcome. But then it is just one, and arguably it's one of the least even, because one other life system that is vital is your health. You might have all the money in the world, but if you're not healthy, you will spend all that money trying to gain that health back.
That is extremely true.
So I believe success is enveloping. It's all round.
Mm-hmm.
It's all, and funny enough, I got this, if I should call it, a definition of how I see success from one of my little cousins. I took him out. There's this barbecue they call in Nigeria, they call suya. I took him out for suya one time like that, and then I don't know how randomly we were talking, and he was like 7. I was like, I don't know what happened, but then I asked him what he thought about success. He was like, success is like being healthy.
Wow.
And then when I thought about it, I was like, man, this is just a kid, 7, but man, if he should give that definition, then maybe I should really think about it.
Mm.
And then I realized that, man, success truly is all round. It's not about having one system outdo the other, but every system working at their optimum performance. So if as much as I give my 100% in my job or my career, I give 100% to my health. I give 100% to my academics. I give 100% to my family. I give 100% to all my other life systems, because it's not about giving 10% here, 5%, or 20% here. It's about giving 100% of me in every life system of mine.
Mm-hmm.
I've asked myself this one question: that what would it be like to at the end of my life, to realize that I really gave my best to everything I wanted to do, every aspect that I really wanted to be successful in.
Wow.
I really gave it my best, my 100%. So that is my definition of success. And then the idea of the book, the theme of the book is about the pursuit of happiness. It's a story of a man and his friend who came from. Okay, okay. Let me take you a little back to how the idea of the book came about. Actually, I love writing, but then back in high school, any little idea I got, I tried to write it down. So I had this stack of little papers in one of my folders like that. So my mom was cleaning my room one day. I was back on holiday, and she was like, "What's all this paper for? It's just there in your drawer. Should I throw it out?" I told her, "No, that's my money, and that's my life's work." That's what I told her. So after I read The Richest Man in Babylon, it talked about money as being, and arguably money is, with money you can do almost everything. You can do almost everything. Money makes a lot of things possible. That money is an essential life system, but money is not the only life. It's not the most important life system. So after reading that book, my book is like, you can arguably say it's like a continuation of The Richest Man in Babylon. For if you read that The Richest Man in Babylon and you read my book, you get a complete idea of what true success should be like. What true success should be like. So the old man in my book is was a learned person who read about the people of Babylon in the olden days. So there's uh, the
How
village
do
from
you,
where he's from.
how do you pronounce his name? Or pronounce his name? Is it Dicam? Dicam?
No, Dikam.
Dicam.
It's
Okay.
in my
I
local
was
language.
struggling.
Uh, well, I understand. I was tempted to use like English names, but I wanted to make it like, I wanted to personalize it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I love the fact that you
I want to
used
personalize
it, you localized it, man. I love that.
it. Well, thank you. Honestly, I thought about changing it, but then no, I said no. So
Nah,
most of the names you find in the local names you see, like Kenshak, Panshak, are either my friend's name or my younger brother's name,
nice.
or all the, are people dear to me that I just the if you, when you read about the army commander that the people were admiring, who was not always in the town, who was just at war and they're trying to make peace. That's actually my grandfather's name. So
Wow.
it's just a tribute to him. I never met him. But just a tribute to him. So
Absolutely.
that is why I was local and then try to make it as local as as personal as I possibly could.
I loved it, man. Well, speaking
Yeah,
of
well, thank
this Dicam, is that correct?
Decam.
Oh, Decam, Decam. Okay, so
Yeah,
speaking of
yeah.
Decam, and I don't want to give too much away about the book, but you know, in those first few chapters, I'm still making my way through it, believe it or not. I'm gonna finish it. But
Okay. Okay.
I've made my way through a good percentage of the book, and there's, you know, those first few chapters, there's a lot of wisdom that's being shared from this elder, and I couldn't help but to think, as it relates to you, like what of those wisdom nuggets, if you will, that he listed off, what was most important or useful for you, or what has been the most important and useful for you at this point of your life? Or maybe even when you were
Okay.
writing the book, what did you find to be the most useful?
Okay. Uh, First of all, I think it should be the ultimate rule, but I'll talk about that later.
Okay.
If you read through towards the end, it's it's on the other part of the book that was dealing about parenting. Uh, okay, I read this quote from somebody. He said that a father, I think I'll paraphrase it because I can't remember the exact words of the quote. He said that a father that disciplines his child for cursing and then curses himself does more harm than for his correction than good by his example.
Mm.
So uh, there was this thought that came to my mind, and I was like, huh. I've seen many a times when I was younger. At times I try to wear my dad's shoe and then try to walk in it, and then I struggle in it. And then many a times we see little kids wearing our own shoes, or if you're a dad, you see your kids wearing your own shoe, and then it's funny, and then we laugh over it, and then we forget it. It's a big message being passed there. Whatever you are as a parent, your kids turn out to be, because they're just telling you that I'm watching what you're doing, and
Wow,
very soon you will be feeling those shoes that you will be feeling.
that's good.
So one of the wisdom I learned from the old man is this, that uh how was it exactly? Um okay, it's about whatever you preach to others is meant for you first. Whatever you preach to others, whatever you preach to others is actually meant for you first to practice. So if I tell somebody be honest with me, I have to be honest with you. If I expect someone to be kind to me, I have to be kind first, because it's a reciprocal. If I want to expect first before I give, you see, I will be living in a wish, and then I won't really be happy.
Mm-hmm.
But talking about the ultimate rule, doing unto others as you would have them do unto you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I was living in Ghana from 2011 to beginning 2011 to December 2012.
Mm-hmm.
There was this time I wanted to do my birthday back in 2011. So I was like, man, I'll just do a little party for my friends and then buy some drinks, cake, and then we'll just sit down and just gist and then drink and then sleep and then we'll be over and done with. I don't know how the news went out. Everybody in my hostel knew. We were like, it was like 40 rooms, like 3 stories, and like 140 people. I don't know how everybody turned out. People bought me drinks and gifts that I I I I don't know how it came about.
Wow.
But someone was that, so people were just that kind to me that I took it upon myself that if I know someone's birthday is close by, and regardless of what I can do just to make that person feel appreciated, or make that person's day a little better for him, I'll do it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do unto others what I want. That's just one example I can give you. There's one lady at work, at the hotel where I used to work. Her birthday was September 13th, and it was 20th. So I don't talk with her. We just like hi, hi, hello, hi, and that's it. So when I knew it was her birthday, I just bought her the journal, and I wrote something in it. I wrote, uh, "You write and rewrite your own story," and then gave her.
Wow.
And then when she was like, when she got it, she was like, "Ah, how do you know about my birthday?" I said, "I just heard it. It was just in the air." And then I
Yeah.
just said, "Let me do something for you." She was like, "What did I do?" I said, "People have done bigger things. So I didn't actually do anything for you." So
Wow.
just blessing in itself,
Mm-hmm.
just what those guys did for me for my birthday, I felt really special. And a little way I can just give it back. Honestly, I will.
That's
So
awesome.
that is one aspect that I learned that has really touched my life to the point that I would want to be kind to people too, because first of all, because I understand life is hard, and then two, it's actually feel better for doing something, for being kind to somebody. It feels good. It feels
So
good.
the golden rule: do unto others as you want them to do to you. That's
Yes,
good.
yes.
Well, tell us briefly, what do you want people to get, or what's your expectation that people will get from reading your book?
Okay, the expectation is that, so that people should realize that money is not the ultimate definition of success. Money is good, but it's not the ultimate. That your personal life is is the most important. The first thing. That's why the first part of the book was focusing on the individual itself. The 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 old man was telling the people that came to hear him teach them. He was emphasizing about their own personal lives.
Mhm.
that if you really want to be happy, the first goal, the ultimate rule you have to practice, do unto others as you would want them to do unto you. That is the first step for being happy. But then, as the other rules, some of the rules say you have to love yourself first. If you don't like a birthmark or how God created you, it will just frustrate your life. Accepting yourself, that is the love yourself rule. You have to love yourself for who you are, for who the Almighty made you to be. Money is okay. Like the Bible will say that seek first kingdom of God, seeking God first, and all other things will be added unto you. Money is just money, and riches is a bonus to success in itself. The ultimate success is to be who you yourself truly are and expressing it. I have this quote as well about life from the acronym of life, LIFE. Live, inspire, feel, and then express. The first thing that life tells us is, first of all, live. You have to live. Many people live, and then many people just exist. At the end of their life, they realize that they haven't really lived, haven't really done what they were brought into this world to do. They haven't enjoyed life. They were not in life itself. They just passed through it without really being human first, and then the being of humanity itself, they were not really a part of it. They were just in some wonderland that never really existed.
Wow.
And then inspire. There are many things that can inspire you. Okay, when I started working at the hotel, when I came to Cyprus, I went to the hotel, and it was the most magnificent. Maybe you should check it out. Noah's Ark Hotel, Deluxe Hotel, and
I
Spa.
think I've seen a few pictures of you working in a hotel. So if it's the same one, I've gone through and saw a few of your photos at the hotel. It's a really nice hotel.
Yeah, it's they took the Noah's Ark, the form, and then it's just beautiful.
Wow.
When I got into the restaurant to work there, man, I saw a lot of. It was the most magnificent display of, like, the buffet was just magnificent. And I learned something. The first thing I learned about it is that there were different kinds of food. There was grilled meat in different forms, grilled, fried, roasted, however you want it, they had it there. And then there were appetizers there, there were fruits there. I learned one thing from just that display of the buffet. That even if you don't feel like something, if you don't feel okay in life, if you don't feel inspired, you can always find something to inspire you. If you don't feel like eating, if you go to the restaurant there to eat, you can always find some appetizers, some sort of appetizer. The appetizers are different types. There's some sort of appetizer to just tease you to want to participate in the program.
That's good.
But I learned that the first day I went there, that regardless of, and there was a rough time for me. I think it was people that were actually guests at the restaurant there to eat. I got more out of that one day working there than they did for coming for holiday at the hotel.
Wow.
Because that thing, it really affected me. I was like, man, even if you don't feel like eating, they have something called an appetizer, and there's different types. You can just choose, and then to get you to want to participate in that delicious buffet. So life in itself is like that. So live, inspire, and then if you get inspired, you can inspire others too, and then feel something, because you have to feel the life you're living itself, the inspiration that comes to you. You have to really feel it, because that is the only way you can actually get to the E part, where it's expressing yourself, and expressing yourself in the highest form that you can possibly be, in your truest self. That is what I learned from there.
Wow. So live, inspire, feel, express. I love it. I love it, man. That's tweetable right there. That's tweetable. And my language is probably out of date. I don't know what's being used now, if it's the hash life, hash live, inspire. whatever it is, man. But you own something right there, and I really like that. So you've completed your book, man. So how does that feel to be a young cat, as we would say, or a young man who's published and released your first book? How does that feel?
To be honest, I feel that I could have done more.
Okay.
I'm comfortable right now knowing that it's just out there. I've never even checked my dashboard on Amazon to check anything. I was just like, I just wanted to come out.
Yeah.
So and I'm grateful that I have that opportunity. If what I want is okay, there's something about America, man. I just love America. No, honestly, I just love
I think I'm
America.
gonna say appreciate it.
Because man, you Americans, you have the opportunity is right there with you. Over here, if you don't create it, it will never find it.
Mm.
But I know in America too, it's hard too, because even as the opportunities are there, you have to prove yourself to be deserving of those opportunities for you to make it. But I know who I am.
Yeah.
Like I told you earlier at the beginning of this interview, I know who I am. I'm just like an arrow that is waiting to just be released to move.
Nice.
The right opportunities, I will get the right opportunities. I've asked God for the right break and for me to recognize the right break for me to move. And when I do, mark my words, I will be at that. Okay, I want to be on TV. I want to be in front of a big stage with 20,000 people. I want that. And if I don't get that if the opportunity does not come, I will create it. Because you see this book right here. You see this book right here.
I see it.
I have songs that have been there for 8
Move it
years.
over a little bit more so we can see it in the screen.
Okay, you see it here. I'll open it. I have stuff I've written. I have stuff that I've written here that have been here for 8 years. And then at times
you've written. Sorry, Zara. You said you've written stuff in there that is.
There's some stuff there here on this book that I wrote like 8 years ago.
Okay.
I wasn't able to because at times you need just the perfect circumstance or life experience for you to get the perfect sentence to fit to a song to give the bigger picture of what I'm trying to express in that song itself. So I'm comfortable, I'm okay with the being patient part, but then the right breaks will come. But even as they are not coming, I've created one already, and it's the Life Row Records. And I bet you, I'm telling you today is the 1st of November, that the next 5 years of my life, before I turn 30, I'll be 5 years, will be 31. Before I turn 30, I would be in front of 20,000 people.
Okay. Well,
not once, not twice, but it will be, people will remember my name, and not just for music, not just for because I like to teach too.
Yeah.
I would like to teach. I like to talk with people. Not just for that, but because in everything I do, there's a strong message, there's a powerful message, there's a story that someone can relate to. There's a song, there's a song, or there's something I can say, there's something you read that I've written that would touch you and would you there's something that someone can relate to, say that yes, I've been through it, and if he can get through this thing I'm going through now, I can do it too. I'm a pillar that a lot of people will hold on to, say that yes, it's because I was able to accomplish this. I was able to do this because he inspired me to do it. That is what I want.
Nice.
And that is what is going to happen.
Well, I'm in full support of
Thank you.
of your endeavors, man. And I really appreciate your inspiration and your motivation to move forward, man. And I think the analogy that you described earlier, I don't know if you said a freight train or just a train, but I'm going to say a freight train moving forward. I think
I'm a train picking up speed.
a train picking up speed, a freight
Yeah.
train picking up speed is what I'm going to add to it.
Right.
That being said, I really I believe in you, and I believe in the things that you're doing because they're guarded with life supporting kinds of qualities. And so I believe it, man. And I hope to be one of those people in the audience, one of the
One
20,000
day,
that's in the
one
audience
day, one day,
saying
I'll
that,
send you a
man, I
VIP pass. I'll
interviewed
send
this
you a
cat.
I'll send you a VIP pass.
All
And then when anyone tries to stop you, you just
right.
the right time will come. The right
Well,
time will come.
well, it's recorded, man. So I got you on video, and so when that day comes, should there
Yeah.
be any issues, I'm gonna pull this part of our interview out and say, bam.
I like what you said. You said when that day comes.
I
I
believe
used to, when I, at times when I want to say a statement myself, I say if. I stopped using if. It's when,
when.
because
That's right.
it will definitely happen.
It will. It will,
It will.
man. Well, listen, we're about almost done with the interview, man. And you shared a lot during this hour, and there's been a lot of wisdom that you've released to the audience. And I don't know who will see this. You know, I started these interviews at the beginning of this year, part of a launching that I'm doing as well, man. And this was just one of those things that I feel that helps me to give people a voice to share about their journey, their personal journey. And so I don't necessarily right now, I'm not reaching out to have some huge following. I'm getting my ducks in a row. But I will say, man, that whoever is able to listen to this interview and be inspired, I know that they will be blessed by it. And
I hope so too.
as I've mentioned earlier, because you are a lover of music, I could turn down the opportunity for someone to share their musical gift. Because one, I'm a music lover myself, man, and went to school for music and all those great things. And so I'm just always inspired by other musicians and vocalists. Hope you've had a long enough time to think about a song that you would like to share with us as we close out. And then before you do, I would like for you to repeat, where can people contact you, get your material, etc., etc.?
Okay. You can find me on Facebook at Zara Keys. Twitter, same handle, at Zarakeys. You can find my book Behind Castle Walls on Amazon.com, or go to createspace.com. You'd find my book there. I've recorded a song, and I think it's online. I've not checked okay, the last I checked, I recorded a song, and I think I had it on popshare.com in 2011. The last I checked, I had 31,000 downloads or so.
Nice.
Yeah, so, well, expect, like I said, I'm a train picking up speed, and I'm an arrow about to be released. So when I do blow up, don't say I didn't tell you, but remember me from this
Right.
podcast, this video recording today. That I
That's
said,
right, man.
I will be out. So,
and what I'll do is, Zara, before we get off, I'll get all of your contact information and I'll include it on this link, which
okay.
I usually upload all of my videos through OldSoulz YouTube, or through my YouTube channel. And so I'll make sure that all of that information is included. Without further ado, would you please grace us with your music, with your voice, and we'll use it as our wrap up.
Okay. Your love doesn't seem to be as good as it seems. Your love don't make no sense at all. I know there's something missing, something that I need. 'Cause for this love to be complete, respect me, girl, that is what I want. Respect me, that is my mother tongue. Your love is not enough, for me to love you in return. Respect me. I hope that does it.
Excellent. Respect. And definitely you have our respect, man. So glad you have shared with us. Again, this brother can be reached. I'll make sure that he has all of his contact information on the link, man. Thank you so much, Zara. And we
And
look
thank you
forward
so
to
much for
another
having me.
possible interview at some point, man. God bless you.
One thing,
Yes.
this is just the beginning. And not just for me, but for you as well. Because when we get to that point I was talking about,
Yes.
it will be in a studio, and it will be your own studio, and we'll have big camera. The lights will be the spotlight will be on me, the guest, and on you, the host, and you
Wow.
will have an audience, and then they will be cheering, not just for me, but for you as well. And thank you for having me here. I will never forget this.
Man, I will always remember as well. And I appreciate that blessing, man, and that word of
Thank you so
prophecy,
much.
man.
You've done a lot for me, that more than you can think. But then, right now, I can't really do much. I won't say I can't do much, but I can't do anything right now.
That's
But
all right.
when I can, I will. I won't forget this.
No, don't, man. As you mentioned, man, everything that we have been able to exchange over this last year, man, has been out of a divine appointment. So I'll leave it at
True.
that, man, because there's definitely much to do in terms of moving forward and just helping each other and helping those who are behind us and those who are ahead of us, man. So it's my honor, my pleasure. And so that
Thank you
being
so much.
said, man, much love. Love you, man.
Thank you. I love you too, man. Thank you very much for everything.
Okay, we'll
For
talk to you
every
soon. I'm going to stop
Yeah.
the recording, but I'm going
Okay.
to get your information correctly so I can make sure I put it on the video. So
Okay.
thank you, everyone, for listening. Zara, you stayed there. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in into another Old Souls interview. And again, we hope to have Zara back. And please look forward to a few more interviews. Not a few more. We just made November 1st. So we'll have
Yes.
probably 2 or 3 interviews this month. And then we'll have a few more to end the year. So, all right. I'm done, son. Done, son. Love you all, and we'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, and peace.